Hello, hello, hello. It's another night for Monday's Man. I know we've got a lot of competition on Monday. It's football season, but I'm hoping, brothers, you'll spread the word and get men on tonight because tonight I have something very important to talk about, and it is voting. Come on, get some brother on, a young brother, an older brother. We need to talk tonight about voting. Uh, we're in just a few weeks away from the what is called the midterms, and I just believe that righteous brothers, righteous men need to speak up and do their thing for voting. So get somebody on, get somebody on. Let's share tonight about this important message that is about voting. Now, Monday's Man, you know the vision of Monday's Man is to move men from the mediocre and mundane toward modeling the mind and might of Christ, modeling the mind and might of Christ. And brothers, I want to talk with you about your mind and might of Christ as it relates to being a good citizen and what it may mean to for you to exercise the rights of a good citizen, and how is that important to us as men to uh, uh, take advantage of the right that has been given to us, and that is to have a voice in our government, a voice in who is to be in office. Uh, when you have a vote, you have a voice. When you have a vote, you have a voice. And of course, the converse is true. If you don't vote, you don't have a voice. So let's get some brothers on tonight to talk about this subject. Let's get some brothers on to talk about it, and we want you to understand where we are as a people. We've come a long way from the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act in 1964, 1965. We've come a long way. And we have had uh, people in office, mayors, city councilmen, school board, uh, representative, U.S. congressional people, uh, the U.S. president. Uh, we've had people in our state offices, and we have made a lot of progress since those days of the civil rights movement. But I'm afraid today that if we don't exercise our right to vote, if we don't keep uh, 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 this and see it as a priority, that we will revert back and go back to some very unfruitful times. And uh, I want you to know that your vote is very important. Now, let me give you some facts. The Pew Research Center has concluded that we have across America 32.7 million voters, eligible people to vote. That is a high number. That's up from 30 million in 2020. I mean, our numbers have grown in eligibility. And we have moved from 12.5% of the US electorate to now we're at 13.6% of all eligible voters across this country. So there is a voting power among us as African American people. And what you need to also realize, living in the state of Texas, we now have the largest Black population of all the states in the United States. Texas, yes, conservative, red Texas now has the largest population of Black folks in the Union. And Houston, the city of Houston, has the largest Black population of any city in America. So the strength is there, the eligibility is there, the potential power is there. And Pew Research Center says that 7 out of every 10 Black people in America are eligible to vote. So we really need to focus upon that, and we need to really look at the strength of that and the possibilities of that. And that's why I'm talking to you tonight, because in Texas, the first day of voting, the first day for early voting is next Monday, October the 24th. That's the first day that you can vote. You don't have to wait till election day. And I would suggest for you to get it done, get it out of the way. You don't know what could happen that could hinder you from voting on election day, but the first day of early voting is next Monday, October the 24th. And on October the 28th is the last day that you can request an early ballot, a voting by mail ballot. You have to ask for it by the 28th of October. So if you are elderly, or if your parents are at a certain age, or if there is a disability, an encumbrance, you want to make sure that it does not deny you or a member of your family that the right and the opportunity to vote. So mark those dates down. In Texas, the first day of early voting next Monday, October 24th, and the last day to request that ballot by mail is on the 28th. So this is Monday's Man. And of course, I want to talk to our brothers and sisters, you who are listening. I want you to do your best to encourage brothers, men, to vote uh, because of the eligible uh, voters in the Black community. 53% of our women vote. 53%. The percentage is less when it comes to men. It drops down to 47%. So the women vote in a greater capacity, greater percentage the Black women do than the Black men. So, I just want to encourage men, brothers, to vote. In across the country, there is the organization Black Men Vote, and they have been really uh, uh, pushing the effort to get Black men to vote. Their goal for this year was a million additional Black men, get a million Black men to vote. I think that is a very noble cause. And the Black men vote. Their language is, it's time for Black men to step up and take our rightful place in helping to shape the future of our nation. Helping to shape the future. When you vote, you help to shape the future of your local city council, local commissioners court, the judges. You help to shape that what happens in our state on the election ballot this year, the governor, the lieutenant governor, the attorney general. We, Lord, if we ever needed to vote, there are state representatives that are on, and some state senatorial races. So you have to understand that you have to shape the future of our nation. And of course, I'm saying not just our nation, but our city, our county, our state. And of course, Black Men Vote, that organization says, and the Strength in Numbers initiative is the critical step. They are saying what is true. There is strength in numbers. We need to come out and vote. That they've been targeting the ages of 18 and 35. Get those younger men to vote, to see the importance of voting, why it is so critical to have our younger men to vote. Of course, we need older men too to vote, but there is an issue. There is an issue here in that we don't vote men in the same percentages with the same enthusiasm and vigor as Black women. And so that question is out there. Why not? Charles Blow, writing for the New York Times, quote Stacey Abrams, who's running for the governor of the state of Georgia. She just comes out and says this, no ifs, ands, or buts. Black men have the power to determine the election in Georgia. But I'm going to go further than that. The Black men have the power to determine the election in Texas, in Harris County, in Houston. If we could just understand the power that we have, gosh, it would be a world of difference. But we have across the country in certain pockets a reluctance, a hesitancy, an apathy, and out and out in some instances a refusal. And Charles Blow pointed that out because there are segments of Black men who believe that the leadership that gets elected is not reflective of their needs. Now, listen to this. The leadership that gets elected is not reflective of their needs. Well, I just believe that can be solved by voting. By voting. If you haven't voted, if you don't vote, you don't get the right, the privilege to put people in office who will meet your needs, who will be reflective of your needs. Now, there could be a chance that someone did vote, and the person who got in office end up not being reflective of their needs. Well, you still have the opportunity to challenge, to confront, to that person, to write, to call, to visit that office and say, you said you were going to do this and you have not. We expected this, but we are getting something else. You have that, but you don't have that voice if you don't vote. You've got to do that, and you determine who is going to be reflective. During the campaign, you ask the hard questions. You determine who is closer to reflect your needs. And there is this belief of some that nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. Nothing will change. Well, the one sure way to guarantee that nothing will happen and nothing will change is not to vote. That's the one sure way. That's the one sure way. So, look, I hope you're registered. It's too late now to register, but I hope you're registered to vote. But the next thing you need to do is educate yourself. Look at the candidates, their platform, what they say. Now, at First Metropolitan Church, we are having this Sunday in our partnership with the Metropolitan Organization, TMO, what is called an accountability session. We have candidates coming in from the U.S. congressional seat, from the state representative seat, and from the county commissioners seat. We have candidates coming in, and you can hear from them what they say. That's this Sunday at First Metropolitan Church, 8870 West Sam Houston Parkway North, in Houston, Texas, right there on the Beltway. And you should come. It's going to be at 4 o'clock this Sunday on the 23rd. But you can become an educated. You need to become an educated voter. Now, if a candidate that we have this Sunday is not in your, let's say, legislative district, you still can get on and Google and look up what those candidates, but you need to understand, you need to educate yourself. You need to educate yourself. If you want to vote by mail, I told you, you need to request that, and you need to do that now. You need to do it quickly before the time, the deadline of the 28th comes and goes. If you, to educate yourself and to make sure, sometimes these ballots are very long, and I'm telling you, you need to vote the whole ballot. You can look up the League of Women Voters. They print out, they do an extensive thing on the election, who's running, positions, their political positions. They don't endorse, but they put that information out there. You take the initiative. You take the initiative. If you're registered, educate yourself. If you cannot vote in person and you need to vote by mail, you take that initiative and get that done. Get that done and request. And as a Black man, we need you to join the electorate. Talk and look here. Speak up. Tell every brother you need to vote. You need to vote. And especially if you are a Christian man. I was in Rome last Thursday, and we had a statewide initiative on getting Black men to vote. And it was billed with this slogan, as for me and my house, we will vote. The NAACP is behind that, and pastors all across the state were asked to get at least 20 brothers on the Zoom. And I'm glad we had men from First Met on. I was on the Zoom all the way from Rome. I had to wake up in the middle of the night. It was 2 a.m. that time there, but I was on the Zoom trying to encourage men on voting, how important it is to vote. And so we need to understand that you need to do it. Now, look, if you are a Christian, you say, well, what does that have to do with me voting? Look, Proverbs 14:34 says, righteousness exalts a nation, but sin condemns any people. Righteousness exalts a nation. So you as a believing brother, you as a Christian man should pray over this, should look at the issues. It's important who gets to be judge. It's important who gets to be a county commissioner. It's important. So much is on the ballot, whether it's policing, whether it's expanding Medicare and health opportunities. There's so much. If it's who's getting contracts of our government, what businesses are getting contracts. You need to understand it's important. The local stuff, the state stuff is important. The money that does not get into our community is important. The changes that need to be made. You should not help those who have suppressed the vote, and you don't even confront that and challenge that by registering, by voting, that attitude should be, you're not going to hold me back. You're not going to keep me back. I am a brother. I'm a man. I am going to stand up. I'm going to vote because my family health and welfare is on the line. Mine is on the line. My community is important to me. My church is important. Yes, you need to vote. Look at Proverbs 29:2 says, when the righteous thrive, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people groan. And let me tell you this, it is wicked. It is wicked to try to suppress votes. It is wicked to push a white supremacist agenda. It is wicked to try to have every resource going toward the rich. It is wicked to marginalize and oppress the poor. It is wicked to have judges in office who are indifferent. It is wicked to not hold police accountable. I love police. I'm a former person in law enforcement, but when they do wrong, just like when a doctor does wrong, they have to be held accountable. It is wickedness that we are fighting. It is righteousness that we are promoting. And you can do that and judge that by your own conviction, by your own reading of scripture, by your own prayer life. Ask God to give you discernment. Ask him to give you wisdom, but please ask him to give you the determination to go in and vote how this state, how this county, how the city, how is going to respond to all the people. And I want you, please, brother, please, sister, to do that. And brothers, I want you to spread that word around. As for me and my house, we will vote. As for me and my house, we will vote. Call your brother, call your cousin, call the other brothers in the church, talk it up that this is an election we cannot take lightly. This is an election we cannot just sit back. We have to determine, we have to make sure that the people who get in office are going to be reflective of our deeds. And I pray that you do this like you've never done it before. Let's come out and let's do it this year in 2022. And then whoever gets in office, let's hold them accountable. You can do it, brothers. In the name of Jesus, I'll see you at the ballot. Do it. And let's get righteous people and righteous issues in place. I hope this has been a blessing. God bless you. And I'll see you in a few weeks on another Monday's Main.